Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Blackwing Yugioh deck profile for post-Darkwing Blast. There are a lot of new Blackwing cards in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set. I really do think they have the majority of the cards in this set. It is their booster set though. They have the new Blackwinged Dragon on the cover. So with it, we got a bunch of new Blackwing cards to add to the deck, taking up a good majority of how you play the deck altogether now with the consistency they bring to the deck. We did mix in some of the older Blackwing cards just for added support of how easy it is to special summon them out onto the field. But let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile to show all of the new stuff we got for the deck. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck. For the new main deck monsters, I am running 3 copies of Blackwing Tsundere, the Phantom Glider. When this card's normal summon, you can add 1 card that mentions Blackwing Dragon from your deck to your hand, except for Blackwing Tsundere, the Phantom Glider. And you can tribute 1 monster to special summon 1 Phantom Glimmer tokens, Wing Beast Tuner, level 2, on the field, and then you take 700 damage. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this effect, except for synchro monsters. You only use this effect of Tsundere, the Phantom Glider, once per turn. So this is your setup to at least get a tuner along with Tsundere out onto the field to then go into some of our level 6 Blackwing plays, including the new Blackwing Borstorm, the Wicked Wind, being the setup needed just 1 dark tuner and 1 non-tuner monster, and that meets the requirements with the tuners that you'll use with this deck and this card. So definitely a 3 of just being able to summon out that monster and give you that resource. I also run 3 copies of Blackwing Veda, the Emblem of Wandering. With this card, if you control a Blackwing monster other than Veda of the Wandering, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Veda, the Emblem of Wandering, once per turn this way. And during your main phase, you can send the top power of your deck or field to the graveyard, along with 1 or more non-tuner Blackwing monsters with your deck, to then use this card for the total levels that equal exactly it, and special summon 1 Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for dark monsters. And you're going to use this effect of Blackwing Veda, the Emblem of Wandering, once per turn. So with this, you have a play that's very similar to Vayu, the Emblem of Honor, being able to set up a synchro play without even having the monsters on the field. And this also gives us reason to run Blackwing Dragon in the deck now, because it has an easy way to be special summoned out onto the field and make use of the black feather counters with some of the other cards we run for Blackwinged Assault Dragon. I also run 3 Blackwing Shamal the Sandstorm. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to place 1 Black Feather or Whirlwind from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone. Black Feather Whirlwind is the new spell that we run in the deck for the added setup with the other cards we run in the deck. So just having a monster that can set up that continuous spell is very, very useful. And if a Blackwing Synchro Monster or Blackwing Dragon is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can banish this card, then target 1 Blackwing monster in your graveyard and add to your hand, then take 700 damage. So you do take some damage with this deck, but still it's more to even set up some of the other plays, including the burn damage meant to be done with Blackwing Dragon, which we'll go over when we get to the extra deck. For the other 3 ofs that we run in the deck, still running 3 of the Blackwing Simoon, the Poison Wind. This card's just too good. It sets up your Black Whirlwind along with the additional summon, giving you a play for a Blackwing monster on the field quite easily with this card. You do lose the Black Whirlwind at the end of the turn by placing it in the graveyard and then taking 1,000 damage, but still, it is that setup because then you have all that search to rely on thanks to your Black Whirlwind. And I also run 3 Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind. With this card, you have the option to half your opponent's monster's attack and defense, and then also just special summon this card out onto the field. There was a good while where, Gale the Whirlwind was on the ban list. It was 1, and then it came back to 3, making it a very good option just for full power in the Blackwing deck. So along with Simoon, the Poison Wind, Gale definitely is a 3 of that you want to use in the Blackwing deck. For some of the lower numbers for the older Blackwing monsters, I also run 2 Blackwing Bora the Spear. If you control a Blackwing monster other than Blackwing Bora the Spear, you can special summon this card from your hand, and it has piercing along with it. Just another special summon, just like Gale the Whirlwind, to fill up your field pretty fast with monsters to use for your synchro summon. And I also run 2 Blackwing Harmattan the Dust. If you control a Blackwing monster other than Harmattan the Dust, you can special summon this card from your hand. And you can only special summon it once per turn this way. And when it's normal or special summon, you can target one other Blackwing monster you control, increase this card's level by that monster. So then just level increase to adjust it to go into some of the bigger synchro monsters that we run in the deck by increasing the level of other cards we control. For some of the one-ofs that I run in the deck, I run 1 Blackwing Chinook the Snow Blast. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Send 1 Blackwing Synchro monster or 1 Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do until the end of the turn, the target monster loses 700 attack and also negates effects. And this is a quick effect. And if you control a Dark Synchro monster, you can use this effect of Chinook the Snow Blast once per turn. So with this, you have the play of setting up the graveyard with some other Blackwing monsters, but also being able to use those monsters for the recycle power for some of our other cards in the deck, including one of the traps we run, which is Blackwing Twin Shadow, and then also just being able to lower our opponent's attacks thanks to this card. It's a one-of tech because you can search it out with Black Whirlwind and then just rely on it from your hand for there. And 1 Zonda the Dusk, another one of the new Blackwing monsters. It has a special summon option of a level 5 or higher Blackwing monster from our hand or deck, and then taking damage equal to its attack. So for some of the higher level ones that we run in the deck, like Simoon the Poison Wind, to easily get onto the field again for us to reuse. And for some of the other one-ofs of the older Blackwing monsters from the ban list, fresh off the ban list actually, we have Blackwing Steam the Cloak. More token usage with this card, and if a face-up card leaves the field, special summon 1 Steam token. So just more setup. If you can get this card on the field to use, it just makes it all the better as a resource. And 1 Crack of the Dawn for another special summon and spell and trap card lock of your opponents. Zephyros the Elite, by being able to bounce Black Whirlwind from the field back to our hand to special summon this card from the graveyard. Vayu Emblem of Honor for the graveyard synchro summons, and 1 Orochi the Squall for more easy special summoning. And when it's sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can target 1 monster on the field and change its battle position to then hit over with some of your other Blackwing monsters. And that is it for the main deck monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. Still running 3 Black Whirlwind. This card's way too good not to run at 3, just for search power. When a Blackwing is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can add 1 Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand. So even just running all of these one-ofs means we have easy search with this card since it's no restriction. It just says 1 Blackwing monster, no level 4 or lower, just any Blackwing monster that we may need for the play we want to do. And I'm running 1 of the new Black Feather Whirlwind. Now, the reason I run 1 of this card is because it is just searchable. And you really just can't stack it as much as you can with Black Whirlwind. So being able to search it with Shamal the Sandstorm is all we need. And once per turn, if you special summon the Dark Synchro monster from the extra deck, except during the damage step, you can target 1 of your Blackwing monsters or Blackwing Dragon that is banished or in the graveyard with less attack than that special summon monster. Special summon it, and once per turn, if a dark monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove 1 Black Feather counter from your field instead. This is the main play to rely on, as more protection with the different Black Feather counters we'll get thanks to Blackwing Dragon or Blackwing Assault Dragon. I also run the 3 Allure of Darkness. This is just a card to run as draw power, since having multiples of the same named Blackwing in your hand may be something that's not really reliable to use, and then just being able to get into something more with a draw thanks to this card. And it's not a once per turn, so if you open up another one, you can just go for the banish again. And having the majority of our deck being dark attribute, there's a good chance you'll never have to actually, risk this card and just have the draw ready to go for it. And then for the rest of the spells, just 1 Foolish Burial to set up either Zephyros the Elite in the graveyard or even the new Zonda the Dusk. And also 1 Monster Reborn as just a way to get some of the resources back onto the field to reuse again. Now moving on now to the traps, I'm running 3 of the new Blackwing Twin Shadow. Shuffle 2 of your Blackwing monsters, 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner, that are banished and or in the graveyard into the deck or extra deck. Special summon 1 Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck whose levels equal the total levels of those 2 monsters. It's treated as a synchro summon. If you control 2 or more Blackwing monsters, you can activate this from your hand. So this is just another answer to getting out some specific Blackwings by just making it so their levels add up and going for that play instead of some of the restrictions that those higher level Blackwing monsters may have had to begin with by just having that tuner and non-tuner to use. And I still like to run the 2 Black Sonic to finish off the main deck when an opponent's monster declares an attack. On a Blackwing monster, banish all face-up attack position monsters your opponent controls. If you control exactly 3 Blackwing monsters and no other cards, you can activate this card from your hand. So just another way for you to bait your opponent into your attack, activating Black Sonic from your hand, and then just getting rid of all those monsters thanks to that problem. It's just another trap you can rely on, being able to even adjust the numbers of Blackwings on your field thanks to to cards like Twin Shadow, since it says with this one, you can activate it from your hand if you control 2 or more Blackwing monsters, giving you the 3 needed to then activate the Black Sonic from your hand. And now moving on to the extra deck, I run 1 copy of Blackwing Borestorm the Wicked Wind. You need 1 Dark Tuner and 1 non-tuner monster, so you can have the requirements met for this card with your Blackwing Tsundere the Phantom Glimmer, once again for the token play. If this card is synchro summoned, you can send 1 Blackwing monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card's level becomes the same as that monster's. And when this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can banish 1 Blackwing monster from your graveyard or face up on the field, except for the destroyed monster, and special summon the destroyed monster from your field in defense position. You can only use each effect of Borestorm the Wicked Wind once per turn. Set up once again with this card, adjusting the level for the fact that Borestorm the Wicked Wind is a tuner along with being a synchro. You can adjust it for a specific synchro play while also setting up other Blackwing monsters in your graveyard for you then just to reshuffle back into the deck thanks to cards like Blackwing Twin Shadow. And I also run 1 Full Armor Master for more of the bigger, no damage plays. It's also just unaffected by other card effects, so a pretty good 3k attack monster to sit on. 1 of the Raikiri the Rain Shower for destruction against your opponent. 1 of the Chidori the Rain Sparkling for more tuner special summons. And I also run 1 Nothung the Starlight to work well with the Obsidian Hawk Joe for the burn and special summon power using these 2 monsters. And also your Nothung the Starlight is a level 6 option once again for the start play I mentioned before. I also run 1 Assault Blackwing Sohaya the Rainstorm for more of the level 5 plays to rely on. And also 1 Assault Blackwing Onimaru the Divine Thunder for the bigger level plays to shuffle back with cards like Blackwing Twin Shadow again. For the Blackwing monsters, I run 1 copy of Blackwing Assault Dragon. You need 1 tuner synchro monster and 1 non-tuner monster, so this can also be met thanks to your Borestorm the Wicked Wind to summon out this card. And it must either be synchro summoned or special summoned by banishing 1 tuner synchro monster and 1 Blackwing Dragon from your field and or graveyard. Each one, your opponent activates a monster effect, place 1 Black Feather counter on this card, and immediately after, if you do, inflict 700 damage to them. And during your opponent's turn quick effect, you contribute this card with 4 more Black Feather counters to destroy all cards on the field. So this setup will also come down to you being able to set up those monsters from your extra deck into the graveyard, thanks to your other Blackwing monsters being able to send them to the graveyard for those plays, and then being able to have that to rely on along with your Borestorm the Wicked Wind for that summon on the field, because then you'll have the extra deck monster you send off your other card and this card to rely on to then summon out your Blackwing Assault Dragon. I also run the 1 Blackwing Dragon along with the Black Feather counters being another level 8 monster to easily summon out with some of our synchro plays. And for some of the generic synchro monsters, I don't go into them often, but I still like the options. 1 Crystal Wing, 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, and 1 Baron de Fleur. If you don't have any of these generic ones to use, you can always just increase some of the other Blackwing cards or even Armor Master or some of the old ones for the Blackwing lineup to add in instead of these cards. And then for the Link monsters, just 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Apollosa to have 2 targets to go into and still have cards also to use with Borreload Savage Dragon. As for some of the go-to plays with the new cards set up, if you have your Blackwing Tsundere, the Phantom Glimmer, when it's normal summon, being able to add 1 card that mentions Blackwing Dragon from your deck to your hand, except for your Sothon the Illusory Spark, meaning you have the search then for one of your other cards, with this one being able to set up your Shamal the Sandstorm Wind, since it mentions Blackwing Dragon, adding it to your hand, and then being able to send it from your hand or field to the graveyard to place 1 Black Feather Whirlwind from your deck face up on the field. That's also just the 1 of, because this card's a 1 of search for this card, and then once it's set up on the field, you have the play to special summon Dark Synchro Monster from the extra deck, and you can target one of your Blackwing monsters or Blackwing Dragon that is banished from the graveyard and special summon that back onto the field after it's been destroyed. But the main play then will also come down to your Shamal the Sandstorm being able to set up more on the field to banish this card and target 1 Blackwing monster and add it back to your hand. So being able to recycle your Simoon the Rain, or even just use it to special summon more Blackwing Dragons using your other cards for the setup and search thanks to you, and just being able to then special summon out other cards like your Bayou Emblem of the Wandering as the additional tuner to use with your Phantom Glimmer, which then you can also just use that for the tribute or have these 2 monsters be the play to go into your level 6 Borestorm the Wicked Wind, and then when synchro summon, sending 1 Blackwing monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then this card's level becomes the same as that monster. So you can send cards like your Zephyros the Elite or even your Zonda the Dusk for for that special summon, or even just being able to bounce the Black Feather Whirlwind back since it was added to your hand, special summoning the Zephyros, and also making Boreas Storm the same level of it, and then giving you your play right there to summon out your go-to level 8 Blackwing Dragon because of it. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. It's a really awesome deck, and we got a bunch of new support for it, so I'm definitely excited just to try out some more play styles with it, and just the variety we have to work with all the new Blackwing cards. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.